Hi everybody. In this video, I am answering the question, how to deal with an elderly mother who is consuming my life. Over the years in my professional career as a care manager for older adults and as a power of attorney agent and guardian, I was responsible for the care of many older adults who had what me and my staff called high needs, meaning they consumed a lot of time. So for us, a high need client meant an older person who, because of health issues or emotional issues, needed and wanted a lot of time and attention. Some of these clients would call my office 5 to 10 times a day just to have somebody to talk to have somebody to express their worries to. So if you are an adult child, a family caregiver, you may have a mom or dad who calls you at work or at home, or they text you multiple times a day with some worry about something that they need that is not urgent, or a question that they have, or something they forgot. All the while you are trying to balance your work and your family and your life and your free time. So stay with me while I share 3 things about how to deal with an elderly mother or a father or any older person in your life who is consuming your life. I'm going to share background information about signs that elderly parents have high needs or high attention needs. Number 2, I'm going to share how these needs affect their interactions with other people, including you, the caregiver. And 3, things that you might consider to do when you respond to your elderly mother or anybody else who's older that has a lot of needs for attention and they express a lot of worries. If this is your first time here on my channel, I'm Pamela D Wilson. I am a caregiving expert, advocate, and speaker who helps adults and caregivers plan through the health problems and financial needs and legal aspects and family relationships of navigating care. You can learn more about me and my 20 plus years of professional experience by scrolling below this video. Go down to the comment section. You will find links to my professional background, my website, a lot of helpful information. Please do ask for a favor. Help more people by liking this video, following my channel, and putting a comment down below, even if it's just to say thank you for the video. One, thank you, and I thank all of the viewers of these videos who comment and say thank you. You make a huge difference for other people trying to find their way here. So, number 1 in my elderly mother is consuming my life is to ask yourself these questions. Does your parent or this older person have an anxious or a worrisome personality? And is this something new, or has it been going on their entire life? Has mom or dad tended to be a little bit on the negative side of life? Not always positive, more negative. Does mom or dad blame or criticize other people for things they do, things they don't do, things that happened in your parents' life? Do your parents like to worry about other people, you, their grandchildren, a neighbor, rather than focus on themselves? Do they worry and obsess about health problems and health problems getting worse? Do they stress about the latest information in the news? Do they think the world's about to end, that everything is horrible and terrible out there? And last, do they get irritated by just small things that normally would have rolled by years ago? Do they have any kind of panic attack Are they afraid of something happening, like maybe a fall, especially if they've had a fall before? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, and these issues repeat and repeat and repeat, your mom or dad might have some type of anxiety issue. They may be depressed. So number 2, we're going to talk about how these answers to the questions that I just asked you affect their ability to take care of themselves and interact with you and other people. Many older adults with high levels of anxiety also have some level of depression. They can have a lot of health problems, 3, 4, 5 different kinds of things going on. High blood pressure, diabetes, heart problems, breathing problems, problems with their feet, they can't hear. All of these combined, the anxiety, the depression, and the health problems, can result in some physical pain. If they have physical pain, that affects brain functioning. And then add on top of this any negative life events that have happened to them that they still think about and relive and fuss about and relive and fuss about. Anxiety and health problems show up in a person's life as struggling to manage all parts of life. Life is never perfect. Life is never good. There's always a problem somewhere. And that's because anxiety combined with depression, combined with what it does to the brain, means that a person doesn't have good problem-solving skills or coping skills. They may not know how to interact positively with other people. How many times do they thank you for what you do? High levels of anxiety can also affect the brain's problem-solving ability and thought processes, how one thinks. So as a result of all this spinning and spinning and spinning, they probably don't take as good care of themselves as they could, or as maybe they used to. Maybe they're just not motivated to do anything. Maybe they sit in front of the TV all the time and they don't do anything and they don't want to do anything. They're kind of like, I don't care. They could have a lot of doctor appointments. And because they have a lot of doctor appointments, then they're obsessing about, what if I go to the doctor and I hear something worse? And what if there are more medical conditions that I'm going to be diagnosed with and I have all these pills? And it just goes on and on and on, right? So a lot of times when an elderly mother becomes time-consuming and wants constant attention, it's because of all this anxiety. They're looking for you to say, Mom, calm down, slow down. It's okay. They're looking for you to solve their problems because they don't know how to solve their problems. All these behaviors do is they wear you down. They exhaust you. They are just like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen today? Think about all the other people in their life. Their doctor. Their doctors are probably a lot less likely wanting to deal with them, especially if they've recommended things and your parent has just forgotten about them, not done them, ignores the doctor's advice. The doctor's probably like, why am I even seeing this person? They show up in my office every 3 months and I have to see them. So add to all of this is your parents, if you've ever brought this up to them, they may go into denial mode. Oh, I don't do that. You're making this up. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not as bad as this person or that person or that person. They try to deflect their behavior over to some other topic. And maybe they even have refused doctors' recommendations to take medications or to go to a counseling appointment because they tell you, well, you know, I can manage on my own. Or maybe they have this fear of being diagnosed with anxiety or depression because, oh my gosh, what if somebody knows I'm anxious or depressed? Do they really think that you as the caregiver or other people don't notice their behaviors and how they interact with other people? I mean, that can be a hint that they really have no idea of the effect of their words and their actions and their behaviors on other people. So if you wrap all of this together, an elderly mother or a father can be really hard to deal with. Have they driven people away from their life? Their brothers and sisters don't even call anymore. Their friends who used to call, they're gone. Maybe they've even driven away your brothers and sisters, their other children, because they're so difficult and they don't understand why nobody calls and nobody visits. They don't get it. So, how do you deal with all of this? Number 3. The best way to deal with a consuming elderly mother or father is to be patient, direct, and honest. And sometimes brutally honest. So for example, you're having a discussion. Mom or Dad, I am doing the best I can, and I can't possibly do any more. I can't give you more time. I can't come over more. I've done 20 things for you in the last week. I have a life outside of taking care of you. This is what I can help you with. This is what I need you to do for yourself. And then you can bring up the anxiety or the depression. If they've had any of this in their medical chart, and let's say maybe they're refusing to take medications, you can go so far to say, Mom, you could help yourself. I think the doctor recommended some medications for your anxiety or for your depression. Why aren't you taking them? You might feel better. And if your mom says, well, I don't like the way they make me feel, then you can say, well, I understand that you don't like the way they make you feel, but not taking those medications makes it really hard for me to want to help you, to want to be patient with you, because you're not a nice person. Maybe if you considered taking a medication, it might calm you down. Maybe you'd actually get along better with more people, and everybody else out there wouldn't be bad or stupid or dumb because they don't know this or they don't know that. People with anxiety and depression can be really judgmental of other people, including you, the caregiver, saying, you never do anything right. You bought the wrong brand of peanut butter at the store. Now, if they don't have a diagnosis, because maybe they don't like to go to the doctor, suggest that they schedule a doctor appointment. Next time they're demanding more of your time or wanting you to do things, you can say, remember when we talked about you being anxious and depressed and how it makes me not want to help you? I'm asking you to help yourself again. Can you make a doctor appointment? I'll even take you. Let's address the anxiety and the depression that you're feeling so that things go a little more smoothly. Those 2 suggestions, medications, treatment, whether it's counseling, a doctor appointment, can go a long way to stop your life as a caregiver from being consumed by an anxious, high-need, high-attention-seeking, potentially depressed elderly mother or father. But you have to keep bringing them up in every conversation. Hey, Mom and Dad, have you seen the doctor yet? Are you taking anything for the anxiety or depression? Have you thought about seeing a therapist or a counselor? Especially when they start to complain to you about everything and you know that you can't solve the problems. All they want to do is complain. So in this case, what you can say is, gosh, I hear you complain about that all the time. And you know what? I don't have a solution. I can't help you with that. I'm not a counselor. And I don't have time to listen to you complain and complain and complain about the same thing. I'm not the person that can help you with that. I'm willing to help you with these things, but that's not me. So why don't you ask your doctor for a list of counselors, or call your health insurance company for a list of counselors and make an appointment. You've got to start setting some very, very firm boundaries. And if you happen to be the power of attorney in this situation, and your parent is doing things due to this anxious and depressed behavior, that's something that you need to address and talk about. So some people who get anxious or depressed, they want to spend money and they want to buy things. Does your parents' home look like a hoarding house? Do they have 10 boxes of cereal and closets filled with clothes they never wear, and there's stuff in the basement and in the garage, and all this money's going out for things that they really don't need, but it's because they get anxious and they need to do something, so they spend money. Or buying something makes them feel better. They're trying to feel better, so they spend money. The other thing that parents who consume a lot of time can do is cause problems within a family. Maybe they talk negatively about your brother and sister, or maybe they talk negatively about you to your brother and sister or other people in the family. This is called triangulation. It kind of pits one person against another person against another person. So if this happens in your presence, and let's say they're talking about your sister, or mom's talking about your sister, you can say, oh, Mary, you're talking about Mary. Why don't we get Mary on the phone so that you can tell Mary directly what you're telling me, because, again, I'm not your counselor. I can't solve your problems with Mary. You and Mary can have a conversation to solve those problems, but I'm not getting in the middle of that. So going back to how do you manage all this, it's to recognize, do my parents have anxiety or depression? What's going on here? And then to figure out, what is that causing? Is that causing them to call you 20 times a day? Are they complaining? Are they not taking care of themselves, not eating, what is the effect of that behavior on you and other people and themselves? And then the medical component of, do we have a diagnosis? Do we need a diagnosis? Do we need treatment? How can we help you feel less anxious and depressed? Because I imagine that probably doesn't feel pretty good. Then you have to start setting your boundaries and having these conversations if your parents won't participate. Mom, I can't listen to you. I'm not your counselor. Did you call that counselor yet? Mom, I hear you complaining about the same thing. Are you taking those pills to make you feel better? How are you getting along with other people? A lot of questions and a lot of solutions here. I'm Pamela D Wilson. I am a caregiving expert, advocate, and speaker. Thank you so much for being here. Again, links to my professional background, how to schedule a consultation, are below this video. Also, please like, follow my channel, share it with other people you know. Put a comment down there, even if it's only to say thank you. That one little word, that one little comment from you helps so many other people find their way here. I'll see you again soon in another video.